This is for the creators.
Welcome back to the show, guys. So last month I was invited down to Red Bull to speak to some entrepreneurs on their Amaphiko Academy. The Amaphiko Academy is an 8-day course for grassroots social entrepreneurs in the UK who are making a positive difference in their community. The Academy aims to give them inspiration, mentorship, practical skills and tools they need to take themselves and their projects to the next level. In today's episode, I sit down with James Marshall, who is the founder of 10T, which creates cool clothes from old tents left at festivals. It was estimated that 250,000 tents were left at music festivals in 2018 alone, and 90% of this material goes to landfill and incinerator. The material can still be used, and a majority of the tents left have only been used for the festival. This is why he came up with the concept of 10T, to combine his knowledge on waste management and create a clothing company. Without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with James Marshall. So James, nice to meet you, man.
You too. It's good to be here.
How's your week been?
It's been full on, It's been inspiring at the same time. It's amazing just being surrounded by, 40, I think there's 14 of us, so another 13. Just people just insane ideas, and what they're doing is just incredible.
Yeah.
It's just inspirational just being a part of that. And obviously a lot of personal development as well. It's been put into it that I didn't expect before I came in, which is hopefully going to work when I leave.
Absolutely. So talk to me about the concept of tent. That's how you pronounce it, right?
10T. So
10T.
Yeah. So it's number 10 and then capital T.
I thought I'd be smart by trying to pronounce it how it looked.
No.
I thought it was 10T.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, it's got to be tent.
Nah, a lot of people, it's a wee bit of a mix up, but yeah, I kind of wanted to, I quite like that, about it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. But it's so innovative.
Yeah. It's, I'll sort of explain it the best I can.
Yeah.
So basically it's the idea, the concept is a clothing brand that we are basically making everything from upcycled and recycled materials. And I got into it because I did a master's at university in sustainability, but it was like engineering focused, and I looked a lot into waste management, and one figure that stuck out to me was 95% of textile waste that goes into landfills every year has the potential to be upcycled or recycled.
It's huge.
It's huge. It's massive. And then I looked at, where can I access to get some of this material and what can I make from it? And so at festivals, obviously, first one, that was all over the news, the tents being left at festivals.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's make some jackets from that. Let's see what we can do. So pulled in a designer and we sat down and drafted up some designs.
Amazing.
And the concept is to turn it cool. I've got this thing where there's a few brands out there that I really like that use upcycled and recycled materials, but and they are good. But there's an element where when it comes to upcycling and recycling that has a stigma with it, where it's all about sort of the hippie
right.
movement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I want to draw away from that because I think that we can use these materials and still make it look good and cool.
So what's explain what upcycling is?
Upcycling, so it's basically taking material and using that material the way it was beforehand into the product. So the tents, we don't actually...
Okay, so it's like repurposing.
Yeah, it's repurposing.
Right.
Yeah. So we're not actually recycling it, we're upcycling the tents that we get, yeah.
So when did it actually all spark for you? Is it when you saw...
Yeah, it was the issue. The basis of it was the issue of the waste. And then I looked at what there is, and then I looked at I've always wanted it to be a clothing, like arranged like around clothing and accessories. And it was definitely the waste issue that sparked it. Yeah, I think because I think that I was just like, why are we doing it another way? And then you've got all the fast fashion. Yeah, it's just mad, like crazy destructive. And
I've heard it's really causing a lot of issues with like landfill and stuff.
It's the second biggest polluting industry, and 20% of all water waste comes from the fashion industry. Like
really?
Industry. Yeah. So water's just like because in the dyeing process and the production process.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, so it's extremely, extremely destructive in terms of the environment. So yeah, trying to obviously stay away from that. So we're getting all our production. We've got a manufacturer in Glasgow, so keeping it within the UK, keeping it close to home, and
definitely.
Yeah.
So you studied sustainability.
I did sustainability. Yeah. But I didn't do fashion. That's when I had to fill in a designer.
Yeah. So what was the draw in terms of fashion? Because you must have had like at least an interest in.
No, I've always had an interest. I suppose I worked in sort of fashion retail. I've always been interested in it as just a concept and an industry. And a lot of my friends are in it, you know, and it's always been around me. So
yeah,
I suppose. And I was like, materials, obviously, we can make clothing. So
yeah, man, it's a golden opportunity.
Yeah,
especially at the right time. And it sounds like you're the right person to do it, being that you studied that.
Well, yeah, I think obviously coming at it from a different angle might be hopefully a positive thing.
Absolutely.
Instead of, because I think a lot of people go from they design and then look at the materials they can use, right?
Yes.
But if we can look at the materials first and then
see what we can do,
and then see what we can design from it.
Yeah, I love that idea. You mentioned about it that the challenge of it is making it cool.
Yeah.
How do you? What's your thinking around that?
Well, the good thing about tents for this project anyway. So obviously, I've just focused on what we're doing now with the tents. I've explored what we might get up to in the future. But the good thing about tents is you get some pretty sick colours, like some sick patterns and some sick colours, and putting them together. But what I wanted to focus on was on the design. I had a concept, an idea of what design we'd use, but obviously I couldn't actually bring that to life because, as I say, I'm not a sewer or a designer. So I pulled in a designer to help me sort of get the concept going, and she really helped sort of bring it to life, and it's had some good feedback. It's I think it looks good.
Amazing because it's you know, festival goers tend to be younger,
so absolutely,
Gen Z, and climate change and sustainability is a very big topic for that generation. Definitely. So maybe it being the cool thing is it will come with time. But just,
absolutely. No, definitely. No, I think you're right. I think it's definitely sort of going that way. It's funny when you think that, right? Because you just said that people go to the festivals, the Gen Z, they care about the environment, and then these are the people leaving their tents. Yeah,
that's another thing. I wanted to say.
And then it's like interesting because it's like you see all these people campaigning for the environment and stuff, and then in the back of my head I'm sitting there, it's like, did they just leave their tent? Am I picking up their tent? And then so on a Sunday they're leaving their tent, on a Wednesday they're like campaigning for the environment. It's like. But I mean, obviously that's not all cases, but it's something to think about, isn't it? Really,
absolutely. Well, you said 90% of tents are left.
Well, yeah. So there was a fact came out in 2018. I think that was independent put that out, that 90% of tents left at music festivals were sent to incineration or landfill. Yeah, and 60% of which are broken, apparently, from this study. So obviously can't be reused as a tent. So we actually worked with a charity this year called FWRD, so the Festival Waste and Reclamation and Distribution Charity. And they basically usually collect the tents and send the ones that are working to refugees.
Okay.
But they picked up broken ones and sent them to us as well. Because they've got a bigger scope on like some other festivals. So
that makes sense. Yeah, because I was going to ask, how do you go about even?
Well, I go myself as well.
So what, you buy a ticket to the festival?
No. I took a lot of contacting like with the waste management teams that go to the festivals, and we go in at the end. We take a van. And I had some family and some friends help me out, and we get to it. It's not pretty.
So when did you start though?
We started the whole project in general. It's probably about March this year. Yeah.
Oh wow.
February, March. Yeah.
Wow.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I didn't realise
I feel like things have taken longer than they should have, but. Maybe not. But
just for reference, we're like 6 months down the line here.
Yeah, it's true. Nah,
so you've had your first festival season then?
Yeah, first festival season. We got about 300 tents.
Wow. Was that from one festival? Or?
2 festivals, and obviously we're going to get a wee delivery hopefully from FW, the charity soon.
So just for scope, what would those 300 tents become? Well,
so on average, we were looking at sort of how many jackets we can get from a tent. It was about 2 to 3 jackets per tent, which is all right. And then obviously all the offcuts, so like the little pieces of material, that's why we wanted to bring in the sort of strap bag, bum bag, and the bucket hat as well. So then we can use those materials for those. So using as much of the material as we can.
That's amazing. So you're looking at like around 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Yeah. I mean, we'll wait and see. And there's as I say, there's some sick colours and stuff like that. But then we've also got to think about like the poles and the pegs and stuff that comes with as well, right? So kind of testing the fact that turning them into like clove hooks. So like if we drill a hole into like split the pole up, so the poles comes in like different segments. Let's take a segment of the pole, like drill a hole in it, stick the peg through it, and then if we put like a little bit of glue at the bottom or something, maybe we can turn that into a clothing hook. But it's something we're exploring at the moment.
That is really cool.
But yeah, we got in contact with some like garden centres and stuff as well, because obviously you can use that kind of stuff for like runners for plants and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just about, you know, thinking about what you can do with it, finding value from like what other people look at as rubbish, you know.
Yeah, and your tagline is really smart as well. The future is rubbish. I mean, when did you come up with that?
Well, actually, to be honest, I think I remember someone's like saying to me, "Oh, I can't remember. It's something along those lines," and it just stuck. It stuck with me, and then I was just like, you know, that's what it should be. Yeah, man. Because
obviously it's two meanings. Like if you don't act now, the future is rubbish.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, if we repurpose it, the future is rubbish.
All about it. Yeah, it's a resource. We can use it. You know.
Absolutely. Have you had any thought around if the tent makers themselves become a bit more environmentally conscious?
Good.
Well, yeah, it's good. Yeah. I mean, would it cause a problem for you down the line if, you know, there's some sort of innovation on their side where you won't be able to get that kind of material?
Problem for me in general, like
in
the
terms
company,
of where you get the material from.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I mean, as I said, the sort of focus at the moment is obviously on tents, but we want to like expand it, start making different products from different materials, and there's a lot of opportunity to do that. Even like, you know, they're even taking plastic bottles and they're now making them into small pellets and then making that into yarn so they can stitch it into like make jumpers and stuff from it. So I mean, there's all these opportunities now, which is such a good time to be part of, you know, because all this technology is coming out to actually start making these types of products from these kind of things, you know. So I mean, yeah, at the moment it'd probably be an issue if they did, but I think it's okay if this first collection does okay, then we can start looking at other things as well. Yeah,
I mean, I doubt they're going to act that fast if they haven't so far.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. What impact do you want Tenty to have on the UK festival market in particular?
Festival market, that's interesting.
I mean, do you have a plan on like partnering with festival organisers, like to educate some of the festival goers?
Yeah, definitely. I think we could definitely looking at workshops or something like that, and showing people sort of like the value of what they're leaving, I suppose. But one thing we definitely don't want to do is promote the people leaving their tents. Is the last thing we want to do, you know.
Oh yeah, so that's a tricky one.
That's a tricky one. It's sort of an imbalance there, right? So it's like, we don't want to promote people leaving it. In fact, we'd rather opposite. Like, that sounds ridiculous, but I'd rather not be having to do this, because the first care is the environment, right? Yeah. But it's an opportunity that I think we should do because it shows the value of it. But it's a hard one. I don't know. In terms of like what impact I want on the festival, I don't think it's going to have a big impact on them. I think that a lot of what's going on in the media as well at the moment with like festivals is they're trying to blame the manufacturers of the tent. They're saying because they're called festival tents is why people are leaving them. And that's not the reason. It's that, you know, the festivals have to take responsibility for it. They have to be like, they're putting the tents on our land where we're having an event, and we need to take responsibility for that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It's not the tent manufacturer's fault for calling them festival tents. No. It's definitely the festival's responsibility, and they need to take responsibility. I don't know how they would do that, whether that be a deposit scheme, so you pay an extra deposit for putting a tent down and then you only get it back if your tent's taken away with you, or but I mean, that could also work out for us, you know. We could maybe put a bin down and people could put their tents in the bin if they don't want to take them home or they're broken on their way out and still get their deposit back. I don't know, you know, there's these other sort of things to think about in terms of like the festival waste issue. But it's crazy, man. You should have seen some of the stuff we've seen. It's mad.
It's just left behind.
Mate, it's like, in terms of like, it's crazy. It's like one of them, I don't know, there was like a couple of caravans, like one of them that looked abandoned.
Really?
Yeah,
they just left it there.
They weren't like great caravans. I mean, I wouldn't take it away in a bit. I'm not gonna lie, but there was like two pretty legit caravans just left, and they looked abandoned. Because we go on site when everyone's left. The only people there are the waste management team, and they usually have a section to the campsite. And some of the stuff that gets left is just great. It really opened my eyes. I thought it was going to be bad. I knew it was going to be bad, but going in and actually seeing it, it's like people take their stuff end of the weekend, just leave everything. As if they've left like their whole life for the last 4 days, just sitting there.
Just left it there.
Mattresses.
Yeah, I mean, because most people, you go to a festival and you leave, so you don't know what's actually left behind, especially from hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's an awful actually to see. That it's disgraceful. It's actually embarrassing to be from that generation. That's doing that.
Yeah,
especially at the moment with all this what's going on.
Exactly. But then it's like the duality of that generation being quite vocal about environmental issues, but then actions, not from everyone, like you said.
Yeah.
Stately otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mad.
It is. It's interesting, and it's not. I mean, after we get it, the process is taking the tent back, cutting it up, washing it, and then we have to like put it into packs and take it to manufacturers. But I mean, washing the tents isn't fun either, especially if it's like one of the festivals. It's raining, so something like a bit muddy and stuff.
Yeah. Reading and Leeds.
Yeah, that looked bad. That did.
Amazing. So what have you learned this week? We're on day 6 or 7 of the Red Bull Amaphiko project. What are some of the key things that have stood out for you?
I think one of the biggest things is sort of your own personal sort of well-being and health, and how that reflects on your business essentially.
Definitely.
I never really delved into that. I really looked into it, but this has really shown me sort of the importance of that. And also another big factor is, it's not me that's going through the sort of struggles of getting something started up. We've got another 13, 14 guys here that are going through the exact same struggles, and just talking about that and being able to talk about like how you deal with things, or it's been eye-opening, just extremely inspirational. Just being a part of this sort of the Amaphiko family. It's been amazing, and what they put on, I came here and I was like, oh, they'll probably just tell me about like how to sort of like start the business, maybe get a few contacts, whatever. But yeah, coming out of that a lot more than that, it's good.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. And
good.
there's like an aftercare program as well, like mentoring and stuff like that.
No, it should be. I think so. I think 12-month. 12-month with the mentors. So I think we're getting like monthly or weekly updates to the mentors. And I got a sit mentor, Miguel. He's I think it's gonna go well.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're 6 months into your business. It's like a great time. For
you
you
to get this right.
Oh man, it's incredible.
You'd step up.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Absolutely, in preparation for the next festival season.
That's it. Well, we need to get these out first.
Yeah,
start get selling.
Absolutely. So where can people find more information about Tenti?
So we've got an Instagram at the moment. So it's at 10T online. So it's at number 10 and then T and then online. And then on Facebook it's just 10T. We've got a website actually. When we get that up hopefully tomorrow. We had some rebranding, so I was going to change the website, but we're going to get that up again either tomorrow. But launching in terms of the products, hoping on the next month or two. We're still working with the manufacturer on the prototyping at the moment. So it's like it's about getting it right.
Absolutely,
it's about getting it right. We don't want to drop it if it's not right yet. So it's taking a wee bit longer than expected, but I'm hoping that it's gonna be good when we do.
Amazing. Are you gonna be doing any pre-orders on there, or is it?
I think we are. I think that's the plan. We'll probably start getting the pre-orders out. Looking to get a shoot done sort of this month, so we can really show off the sort of products, and then after that we'll probably look at doing some pre-orders to keep the eyes peeled.
Absolutely. Well, we'll send people your way, man.
Definitely.
Like, really a lot of respect for what you're doing.
Thank you.
I mean, it's super early and you've done so much already, so kudos, man.
Cheers, man.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You too. Cheers.
Cheers.